This is how a culture is built. Absolutely. It's on par with everything that the Padres have been saying, the players have been saying the last couple of weeks, or should I say days. It's what Joe Musgrove has said. It's what Fernando has said. It's what Ha-Seong Kim has said. It's what Yu Darvish has said. It's that new mentality of we're creating a culture here in San Diego. They're tired of messing around. They ain't BSing you anymore. It ain't about them. It's about the team. It's about putting this team in the right direction. I don't know if it was last year that triggered this. I don't know if it was trading Juan Soto. I don't know if it was the feeling that they let Peter Seidler down, but this team is different from an internal standpoint. And we've talked about this so many times about how long it takes to get to this point and how many years of just doing this it's going to take to build that culture and build that environment of what it means to be a San Diego Padre. I'm just glad they're finally addressing this right now. They finally, as a team, are like, we got to fix this. It's phenomenal. It's setting the stage. It's setting the organization on a right track. It's building that foundation. This might be a foundation-building year for the Padres, which I know a lot of Padres fans don't want to hear that. That sounds like a rebuild. That sounds like what have you been doing the last 10 years? You got your core group of guys. They're all locked in under contract. The only one that's not right now is Ha-Seong Kim. They set the standard of being a Padre. They enforced it in the minor leagues moving forward, and then you could start being that team that competes each and every year. Xander Bogaerts is doing that. He's practicing what he preaches, right? We haven't heard it from Xander yet on the contract or in the media about, what the direction of the team is, but he is showing it with his actions. He's being a pro. He's taking it in full stride. He's being positive about it. Do I necessarily agree with the decision the Padres are making? Not really. But I respect Xander Bogaerts and his answer right here. I thought it was great. I thought it was top of the line. I got one more Bogaerts sound clip that I want to play when it comes to how they address the idea of him playing second base before we get to a break. Here's Xander Bogaerts on how the Padres proposed to him about being a second baseman.
You kind of knew that at some point they would be talking to you about it. Was Mike in Aruba the first time that someone did talk to you about it?
No.
Okay. And so what has the process been like for you in terms of how do we get to today?
Yeah, we got to today fast. I'll tell you that. They just approached about it, and it's not like I was like, hey, take ground balls at second, be prepared for any of that. That's probably the only part that maybe could have been a little different. But I mean, I don't know how much interest they really had on like moving me off or whatnot. But once they came with that option today, it's like, as I said, man, I could have really be like, you know what, I don't want to move off yet. But deep down, I really feel like, you know what, it might be time, and especially the respect I have for Kimmy defensively as a player. So it makes us better. I mean,
Early workout there today?
That was just a little show and go. This is just a little bouncing around. Double play feeds is going to be a little tough. And as I said, I think most of the tough plays will be around the double plays, and the feeding and the receiving of the ball with me not being able to see the guy. Those might be the tough.
He's definitely battling right there some emotion. Fighting back a little bit. I mean, the career that he has had and being at third base to shortstop and signing that big contract and wanting to be a shortstop, probably for a long period of time. And it's one of those steps, I think, for a lot of Major League Baseball players when they start getting up there in age, where they start moving out of those prime spots. I think for him, I mean, I think he knows that not really it's the beginning of the end for Xander Bogaerts, because it's not. He's still got some good years ahead of him. But that's a triggering spot. He's not the young player anymore. And you can see that in his reaction. I mean, if you were watching on YouTube, you could tell he's battling an inner battle and swallowing his pride to do this. And the fact that he has so much mutual respect for Ha-Seong Kim, I think, is the best part. Because in his battle with himself of wanting to be the shortstop and being upset about that, and maybe like looking into the future of how many more years do I got left of doing this job? Even though he's got a lot of years left, this is kind of one of those moments as a professional, you're sitting there going like, I can't, it's not going to be forever. And I think he's understanding that as he's answering these questions. So he's fighting that while also like wanting to be excited for Ha-Seong Kim. I mean, you could tell he really likes Ha-Seong Kim. He appreciates his game. I mean, the team camaraderie there is great to see. So you're not going to have any headbutting on this. You're not going to have Xander sitting there pouting about not being shortstop and maybe complaining in the dugout if Ha-Seong Kim messes up and he's like, well, I would have made that play. I don't think you're going to get any of that out of Xander Bogaerts. The guy's a pro. I gain a lot of respect for